Great communication is the foundation of a great life. Let me share a story with you. I remember recently one of my kids coming to me, and there was kind of a big explosion outside. Something had happened and something made them very upset, and I got worked up, my kid got worked up, and a couple minutes passed and my kid was himself for a while, and he kind of disappeared, and I wasn't sure exactly where he went. And then he came back and he said, "Mom, can I please talk to you?" And I said, "Sure, of course." And then he said, "I don't like it when you do XYZ. And I also understand why you got upset because I acted like XYZ. And next time, let's try this. And could you please not do that? And I will try to do this." And I thought, wow. I mean, for me, I'm just such a communication freak. And that's not to say I always do it perfectly at all, but I'm trying my best. And I believe strongly that if we can have good communication in life, we can live better lives. That's what I'm all about. So when my kid did this with me, I was just floored. And I told him that. I said, "This is incredible that you were able to articulate your feelings. You took a moment to yourself. You came back. You told me how you were feeling. You told me what made you so upset. You told me you recognized the way I felt also. And then you came up with a productive solution for the way forward." Incredible. And I always remember that. And again, it's not always going to be perfect, and we all mess up, and we all miscommunicate or communicate badly or have a lack of communication, but that's okay. We're all living and learning and growing together. And that's really why I want to talk about this today. The importance of communication. Why is it important? Why should you care? Why should you try to be a better communicator? My kid's story is just one example of why communication is important. Him and I were able to come to an understanding, come up with a solution, make the next time we were doing whatever it was that we were doing, make that better, make that more comfortable for both of us, make it work for both of us. This is the power of communication. I would like you to imagine something with me now. So I want you to imagine very simple props I'm using. I actually do this a lot in schools when I do anti-bullying talks and positive mental health talks. So I just want you to, let's go primitive, okay? Blocks. I would like you to imagine that this is you. And I would like you to imagine that this is someone else in your life. It could be anyone. It could be a colleague. It could be a friend. It could be a spouse. It could be a child. It could be a family member. Anything, okay? You and the other person. So when we're not communicating in any way, and communicating, let's be clear, means talking, using body language, writing a letter, typing an email, picking up the phone, all of it. It also means listening, something that a lot of us tend to be bad at sometimes. This is you, this is the someone else. When we're not communicating, we are separated, we are isolated, we are alone. When we do start to communicate, you say something to the other person, you're closing that gap. The gap between you is getting smaller. The other person communicates back with you. Gap getting smaller. Now, imagine that you were to share something very maybe intimate, something that puts you in a vulnerable position, something that might be difficult to say, but it is authentically who you are and you want to talk about it. Let's say you do that. What happens is you start to build yourself up. You feel a little bit more empowered. You feel a little bit stronger. You feel a little bit sturdy, like a stronger base. And now let's say your other person, let's just call him your partner does it too. Your partner shared something with you. So now you have this open dialogue between you. You have shared something that was important to you, and they have shared something that was important to them. And now you're both feeling a little bit more sturdy on your feet. You're feeling stronger. You're feeling like you have maybe a better base, a better foundation. You're taller, you're bigger, feeling a little bit better about yourselves and about the relationship between you. That's the other magic, and we'll get more into that too. So now let's say you do it again. You share something else. Again, a little bigger, a little stronger, a little bit better of a foundation to hold you up. And they do it too. So they've shared something more, and now we're building up bigger, better. What do we have now? First, we were just single little blocks. Now we are mini towers of blocks that the more we communicate can get bigger and stronger. And then what can happen once we have this open dialogue, this open communication between us? Well, we keep closing the gap, and the gap gets smaller, 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 until we come together and we become this united tower of blocks together, stronger together. Look how much stronger this looks than what we had before. So yes, it's a very primitive little visual that I have for you, but think about it. Sometimes it is that simple. And sometimes we have to go back to the basics and back to the simple to really embrace what we might need to do to live better, happier lives. The truth is that when we are connected to other people, when we are living true to ourselves and communicating what is really and authentically us, no matter what that is, we feel empowered, we feel bigger, we feel stronger, we feel better connected within our lives. And guess what? That makes us feel a lot happier. Communication is the core of who we are. It is a way for us to express ourselves, to show people who we really are, to tell them a little piece about ourselves, to share that incredible personality that is only ours, individually ours. There is no other life on this earth, meaning mammals, animals, that can communicate in the same way that human beings can. They can't talk the same way. They can't listen the same way. They can't make that connection quite the same way that we can. We have these powerful brains and these powerful tools and capabilities to communicate, to talk, to listen, to use our body language. We have to use that. It's one of our most powerful tools as human beings. You've got to be empowered to use it. Use it. I truly believe if we can communicate better, we can live better. And I'm going to show you how and why. And just everything is going back to the importance of great and solid communication in our everyday lives. We all deserve to have a voice, an authentic voice that is ours. And what does that really mean? Having a voice means we feel comfortable and confident enough to talk. More importantly, to talk about anything. That is our right. That is what we deserve to have in our lives. Having a voice also means that we can tell people how we're feeling. And that could be something good, could be something bad, that could be something that needs fixing. It could be anything and all of it. We can tell people that we like something or don't like something. We have that right. And we should be communicating those things. And there's a way to do it too, right? Sometimes you're thinking, oh, I can't tell that person that. I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I don't want this to explode into some big fight I don't want to get involved in. But what about the way that you're saying it and the way that you're presenting it? Did you choose your right moment? Were you in a relaxed environment? Was that person in an okay mood? Did you start by saying something positive to them? Did you speak in an empathetic, kind, and compassionate manner? All of these things matter. It doesn't mean you eliminate your voice. It's just choosing the way you deliver it. You're able to give your opinion. That's what it means to have a voice. You can have an opinion. We all should. We can tell people that we care about them. We can tell people when we're in trouble. And most importantly, having a voice in this world means that we know within the communities where we live and work and operate that we are respected and accepted for our whole voice. So no matter what we say, we will always be respected and accepted and loved. Talking is communication, and communication is connection. So if we can all agree that we need to talk, then we want to answer the question, why? Why should we talk? What's in it for me? Why should I talk? Talking, once again, is our most powerful tool, and as human beings, we ought to use that powerful tool. Talking builds trust. So no matter who we're talking to, again, it could be a colleague, it could be a friend, a family member, a kid, a spouse, a partner, anyone. But it starts building that trust. Remember what I did with the blocks a few minutes ago? When we are talking, we are building, not only building up ourselves, but we're building the trust between the people that we are talking with as well. And that is exceedingly important in this world, wouldn't you say? Talking helps us build genuine relationships with other people. So even if we're a little bit on the quieter side, as long as we are able to talk, and again, by talking, I'm talking about all different kinds of communication, right? Even if you can't speak out of your mouth, you can write, maybe you use sign language. Like, this is what I'm referring to when I'm saying talking. When we communicate with other people, we're building incredible relationships, bit by bit, word by word. We are creating that connection with other people, and it's making our own relationships stronger. And in particular, when it comes to strong relationships, the more we share that is honest and vulnerable and real, authentically us, the stronger those relationships will become. And finally, again, like what I did with the blocks, bridging the gap. Communication with other people helps us bridge the gap between us. And we are all on this earth together, and we're in it together. We're in this life together. So why not create that sense of community with other people simply by opening up and talking? It could be so simple. It could be a little smile to a stranger at the store. It could be a hello to someone at the gym in the morning. It could be a quick joke to someone at the store because you are making that connection with other people, and it feels good. Why else should you communicate? You should communicate because if you never communicate, no one ever knows how you feel. No one ever knows what you're going through. What is your experience like on this earth right now, right here? If you communicate that and you talk about it, instantly people know more about you. They can learn more about you. They can maybe empathize with you a little bit better, whatever it is that you're going through. All of these things are important. If you don't say it, they won't know. If you don't communicate, things are getting bottled inside. I am a very strong believer that as human beings, even if you are a more introverted human being, that is totally cool, that is totally fine, that is totally great. You still need to have an outlet. You still need to have a communication outlet, because keeping things super bottled inside, especially if it's something that's bothering you, is only going to fester and grow like a cancer inside of you until something happens or you have a breaking point. Maybe you get sick, maybe you can't function properly, maybe you're not processing things the same way as just getting it out. And even just to start with, if things are really hard for you to just get out to other people, write it down. Have a journal. Somehow communicate with yourself. That's also the real power of communication too, right? Is communicating with ourselves is extremely powerful. So I do this in my school talks too, or when I'm talking about communication. The power of it works with ourselves also. So if you're not yet ready to talk to someone else about whatever it is that you're feeling you need to get out, close your door, throw on some music, talk out loud to yourself. It can still help you. It can help you get to that next idea, that next solution, that next echelon of even just feeling more released and relieved. Ask yourself right now, how do I want to feel in my life? Whenever I do my talks, I always ask the kids to answer this one. If there was one way that we could all agree that we want to feel most of the time in our lives, what would that be? And it would be happy, wouldn't it? Don't we all want to feel happy as much as possible in our lives? So believe it or not, there have been studies that have shown that talking leads to a more happy and fulfilled and satisfied life. So if that's the case, how, we might ask, how does it do that? Number one, talking brings relief to us. Something in our minds, something weighing down on us, and we finally come out with it, and we tell that special someone that we trust, And instantly we have that sense of relief, like a huge weight has come off our shoulders. It's like magic. Number 2, talking can actually make us feel better. So whatever it is that we're maybe have on our minds, or we're hesitating about, or we're not sure about, or something that is making us sad or happy or excited or super nervous, when we talk about it, it makes us feel better. We instantly feel like those emotions, we can sit with them a little bit better. Picture a battery, and the battery is super charged up with whatever emotion it is that you are feeling. So that might be super happy, super excited, super nervous, super frustrated, angry, upset, hurt, whatever it is. When we come out with it, when we communicate that feeling, that charge on that battery gets a little bit less, and we can sit with our emotions a little bit better. Talking can also lead to new solutions. So I love this one. Have you ever noticed you are trying to figure something out in your head, and then you just talk out loud to somebody or vent to somebody, or you have a discussion with someone about what it is you're contemplating, and together you come up with a solution. They give you ideas that you otherwise would not have thought about. And that helps you get to the next step of whatever it is you're trying to figure out. Again, magic, everyday magic, just through the art of communication. Don't be afraid to do this with yourself too. Talk out loud, talk to yourself, write things down, keep a journal. Any way to communicate with yourself is equally as important as communicating with other people. So I really believe in that too. This cathartic process of getting our thoughts out is really important in our lives. We're all in this together. We're in this life together, and we all have the right to be our authentic selves through our communication. And that means you owe it to yourself to define who you are and to set your own priorities, and then to make sure that wherever you are communicating those priorities and those values and those key characteristics through your speech, through your talking, through your writing, through your sign language, through every way that you communicate in this world. Make sure it is authentically you. It will make you feel the best about yourself. It will lead to greater feelings of happiness, and it will lead to better connections with the people all around you. Part of that is also speaking up. Speak up when something bothers you, or when you think something is unjust or unfair, or when you see someone who needs help, when you see a friend in need. Speak up. Use that voice. Number 2, talk openly. If we can't be open with one another on this earth together, then what's the point? We're given this gift, we're given this power, this tool of communication. Let's use it, and use it to our advantage to help each other and ourselves live better lives. Feel that freedom through your speech. Use your speech to be free, to express yourself, to be exactly who you are. And then check in with yourself after too. If you were really authentic in one given scenario or one day of your life, how do you feel after? Did it work for you? Did that make you feel empowered and strong and excited about your everyday life? Think about that. Use that freedom of speech and carry it forward. Finally, my favorite ones, be vulnerable, be truthful. We're all struggling with things in our lives. And the more truthful and vulnerable we can be about that, the better connected we can be as a community, as a society, as a world. And the more other people will be able to relate to you. And you'd be surprised when you really come open and be vulnerable and say that hard truth that's so difficult to say. People will embrace that. They will feel better connected to you. And I guarantee if they have something they want to share, you will have inspired them to do that. They will share it with you. And then what are you going to have? Better connection with that person, better relationship, building that trust, getting that connectedness and happiness together, feeling fulfilled through communication. And now, please check the link down below, because there is a recording, what I call an audiogram, that I produced a little while ago. And it has a lot to do with communication, and in specific terms, more about kindness and why that matters, and how we should check ourselves in certain situations to be better communicators and fueled by kindness. So check that link down below. I've got a freebie for you. Just click it and go claim that free audiogram. I think you might be really interested in what I've got to say next too, which is this video right over here. And it is a video that's all about the story behind my first novel that I wrote, which is The Only Way Out. And it is about bullying and mental health, but it's also got this very strong message about the importance of speaking openly and speaking up for what we believe in and what is unjust and unfair, sticking up for the people around us, and that whole just message of talking openly and speaking up and why we should do that and the benefits around it. So check out this video right now. I'll see you there.